I will not have you in the course of a single evening besmirching that name by behaving like a babbling, bumbling band of baboons.
There's nothing simpler than avoiding people you don't like.
I will not stand quietly by and allow myself to be crucified by a woman whose fetid frustration has overcome her judgment.
I would like you to welcome a new member to our house, Sister Mary Clouds.
Rather like the Queen of England, has been a part of my life ever since I was a student in London, and she was an icon even then. So she's someone I've watched and admired and loved. Eventually, I had the great honor of working with her.
Dame Maggie Smith, a legend, a force, and the queen of the sharp one-liner.
I'm a sick woman, looking for a last resting place.
As you probably heard, the beloved and iconic actress passed away on Friday, 27th, 2024, leaving behind a legacy of unforgettable performances. And trust me, no one could command the screen like Maggie Smith, especially when it came to delivering a final biting remark.
Is a tease designed to prevent us accepting reality.
For the younger generation, she'll always be remembered as the stern yet lovable Professor Minerva McGonagall in the Harry Potter films.
Perhaps it would be more useful if I were to transfigure Mr. Potter and yourself into a pocket watch. That way one of you might be on time.
She snapped, forever winning our hearts with that mix of sarcasm and affection. And who could ever forget her as the no-nonsense, yet deeply compassionate Mother Superior in Sister Act, and its equally hilarious sequel, Sister Act 2.
People wish to kill you. Anyone who's met you, I imagine.
She was the perfect balance of stern discipline and heartwarming kindness, keeping Whoopi Goldberg's character in line. Well, at least trying to.
There are 3 vows every nun must accept. The vow of poverty, the vow of obedience, and the vow of chastity.
I'm out of here with that.
Yet for all her success, Dame Maggie Smith didn't see herself as a star, just an actor. Primarily a stage actor, in fact. That was, of course, until Downton Abbey came along and turned her into a global sensation at the age of 75. 50 years into her career, and suddenly everyone knew her name.
Life was fine. Nobody knew who the hell I was. Now it has changed.
Well, by the time she passed at 89, the whole world certainly knew who she was. And they're not likely to forget anytime soon. But one burning question remains. Was she really the character she played? Or was it all just part of the act?
You don't watch the finished product. What do you get out of it?
It's the delight of acting.
Maggie didn't just act. She owned every scene she was in, whether it was on stage or screen. Over her career, she collected accolades like some people collect stamps.
The winner is Maggie Smith in California Suite.
I just really can't believe it. I'm very, very honored and very grateful.
Think 2 Academy Awards, 5 BAFTA Awards, 4 Emmy Time Awards, 3 Golden Globes, and even a Tony Award. Oh, and let's not forget the nominations for 6 Lawrence Olivier Awards. I mean, talk about her dominating the acting world. She was one of the few performers to snag the elusive Triple Crown of acting. That's winning an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony, by the way.
Have you heard this expression, EGOT?
No.
EGOT is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Like if you win all 4.
Emmy, Grammy. Oh, I see, yeah.
You've gotten all of them except the Grammy.
And I think that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Her talent was simply unmatched, and she made it all look effortless. Born to a Scottish secretary and a public health pathologist, young Margaret Natalie Smith moved to Oxford at the tender age of 4. She grew up alongside her twin brothers, Alistair and Ian. Now, fun fact, Ian pursued architecture, while Maggie was destined to steal the limelight on stage and screen. Educated at Oxford High School, Maggie found her calling early on and decided to dive headfirst into acting by the age of 16.
My grandmother had said to my mother that she couldn't let me go on the stage because she said, you can't let her not with a face like that. And I think it made me so angry that I decided that I'd have a go.
Leaving the formal education behind to train at the Oxford Playhouse. Her journey from a young girl in Oxford to one of the most decorated and beloved actresses in Britain is nothing short of legendary. Whether you remember her as Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter,
Hogwarts is threatened. Man the boundaries. Protect us. Do your duty to our school.
the Dowager Countess in Downtown Abbey,
What should we call each other? Well, we could always start with Mrs. Crawley and Lady Grantham.
or from any of her countless other iconic roles, Maggie Smith's legacy is one for the ages. From witty quips to tear-jerking moments, she shot up the ladder of stardom to become a true national treasure. Fast forward to her first film gig, an uncredited role in 1956, and who knew she was just warming up? By 1958, she was turning heads and grabbing BAFTA nominations for her breakout role in the melodrama Nowhere to Go.
I knew who you were last night at the club. Where do you want to go?
Playing a brave soul who shelters an escaped convict. Talk about starting with a bang. Then in 1963, the great Lawrence Oliver himself handpicked her to star as Desdemona, opposite to Othello at the National Theatre.
Shall support by his dear absence. Let me go with him.
I do beseech you, let her have your voice.
And just when he thought it couldn't get any better, this gig landed her an Academy Award nomination 2 years later when they took it to the big screen. 1969 rolled around, and she nailed one of her most iconic roles, the rebellious teacher in the prime of Miss Jean Brodie.
I see we have two new girls this term. Will the two new girls please stand up?
Not only did she snag an Oscar and global fame, but she also ended up marrying her co-star, Robert Stevens. How's that for a plot twist? They even had a low-key celebration at the Old Vic in London. Stars, they're just like us. The duo had 2 sons and continued to light up stages together until the drama off stage matched the drama on screen. Amid touring America and life-throwing curveballs, their marriage hit the rocks, and by 1976, she had tied the knot with playwright Beverly Cross and moved to Canada. Still, she didn't skip a beat, starring in hits like Murder by Death and Death on the Nile.
I am, and I will not stay in this horribly filthy room overnight.
Filthy? Very well, madam.
The 80s? A slew of unforgettable films and a shower of awards. And let's not forget her enchanting turn as the aging Wendy in Hook in 1991.
This right now.
Peter?
What?
The stories are true.
Then, as the naughty 90s rolled in, she became the beloved Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter series, enchanting a whole new generation.
As it happens, Mr. Filch, your arrival is most opportune. If you would, I would like you, please, to lead Miss Parkinson and the rest of Slytherin House from the hall.
Exactly where is it I'll be leading them to, Mom?
The dungeons would do.
Even a tough battle with breast cancer in 2007 didn't slow her down. By 2012, she was dazzling audiences in the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel.
Bring it back to life. You have to infuse it in boiling water.
And in 2015, she touched hearts in The Lady in the Van,
This is not a night dress.
based on the extraordinary true story of Mary Shepard. And for her final act, in 2023, she graced the screen in The Miracle Club with Laura Linney and Kathy Bates, a fitting farewell portraying a woman on a pilgrimage, proving that some stars shine bright all the way to the end. What a journey, what a legacy.
Is everyone set? Everyone ready? Well, here we go.
Professionally, Maggie never hit pause. Even into her 80s, she's been unstoppable. As Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter series, she not only taught young wizards how to turn animals into water goblets, but also taught the world how to be utterly fabulous in a tweed hat. And let's not forget her role as Dowager Countess in Downtown Abbey, where she delivered sass and class in equal measure. Her character's cutting remarks are still being quoted around the water cooler on Monday mornings. Behind the scenes, Maggie's humor is as legendary as her career. Once, during a particularly dull awards ceremony, she was caught passing notes to a fellow actor. The note? I bet you £5 I can make the host cry before the night's over. Spoiler alert, she won that bet. The queen of sass and wit didn't just rule our hearts on screen, but she was also honored by Queen Elizabeth herself. twice. In 1970, she became a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire. DBE. I mean, talk about leveling up. Maggie was making waves long before she made Professor McGonagall cool. Getting that Dame title was like the royal stamp of approval, saying, yup, she's the real deal. But hold on, it gets even better. In 2014, Maggie didn't just stop at being a dame. No, she was promoted to an elite club when the Queen made her Companion of Honor, CH. Now, this is the kind of upgrade we all dream about. It's like the Queen saying, you've been a national treasure for decades. Time to give you a crown of your own. Maggie wasn't just a star, she's practically British royalty at this point. Maggie Smith has not only been a towering figure in the acting world, but she's also raked in a pretty penny from her decades of captivating performances. By 2024, thanks to her unforgettable performances across film, TV, and the stage, Dame Maggie has conjured up a cool net worth of $40 million, according to the Equity Atlas report. Who knew casting spells in Hogwarts and dissing sass in downtown could be so lucrative? Now, as we look at the grand tapestry of Dame Maggie Smith's life, it's clear she was not just a great actress. She was a one-woman spectacle, a force of nature, and quite possibly Britain's most beloved export since Earl Grey tea. From her early days in Essex to her reign as a Dame of the British Empire, Maggie Smith has proven time and time again that she was truly in a class of her own.